First principle of investigations. Do not have a presupposition that keeps you from investigating something. Don't think you know the answer before you even start investigating. Because if you think you know the answer to this, a good chance you're not going to get to the right point. You're going to miss something. See, what we're trying to do here is figure out what is the most reasonable inference from evidence, because that is the jury standard. By the way, we're not trying to prove things beyond a possible doubt. I could never prove anything. I've never had a case I could prove beyond a possible doubt. We have a jury instruction for this. We're aiming for reasonable doubt. That's a lower standard. That makes sense? Anything and everything is possible, but not everything is reasonable. There are philosophers, serious philosophers today who believe we are in a universe that is nothing more than a computer simulation. That's possible. But is that reasonable? This is what we're after. Now, how do we determine if something is reasonable? That's the trick. How do you do that? Well, that's what I'm going to teach you this morning. But I have to show you something gruesome before I can start. I have to show you a dead body, okay? So we're going to do a little dead body work today. We're going to do a little death investigation 101, all right? Lucky for you, this dead guy looks suspiciously like my son Jimmy. Back when he used to work at Trader Joe's. Okay? So you can tell how old this presentation is. Now, when we find somebody's dead in a room, we're not quite sure we have a criminal case yet, because there are more than one way. There's 4 ways to die. Only one of those ways is criminal. We got to figure out which of these 4 ways this guy died. How we do that is we make a list of evidences and compare the evidences to the explanations in the room. How can we explain what we're seeing in the room? So far, the only evidence we have is a dead guy laying face down. How do you explain dead guys laying face down? Well, he might have died by some natural cause. He might have accidentally died. He might have killed himself. He might have been killed by somebody else. These are the 4 ways that people die. The question is, which of these ways is most reasonable? And I know people are taking photographs. I'm going to send you this whole video. You're going to get it today. I'm going to send it to you today by text. So just relax. Don't take any pictures, okay? This is a 17-hour course I teach at Biola. There's no way I could do the whole thing here. So I'm just going to send you all the material, okay? Does that sound good? All right. So what do I do so far? I got a dead guy laying. Can I cross out any of these possible explanations given the evidence in the room so far? Not really. I mean, if he had a heart attack, he would look like that. If he accidentally took too many pills, he would look like this. If he intentionally took too many pills, he would look like this. If I poisoned him with too many pills, he would look like this. So far, everything is not only possible, it's all equally reasonable. Let's change our scenario. What if he's a dead guy laying face down, but he's in a pool of his own blood center torso? That would change things. Let's add that to our list. Can I cross out something now? What can I cross out? Yeah, I mean, look, is there some rare medical condition in which you could bleed from no opening in your center torso? Maybe possible, but I'm not after possible. I'm after reasonable. I can cross that one out. But until I roll him over, I can't cross out anything else. Let's change our scenario. What if he's a dead guy who's laying face down in a pool of his own blood, and now he's got a big honking knife sticking out of his back? Okay, why are you laughing at the knife in the back part? I don't know. By the way, this is my resurrection talk for Easter Sunday. At churches, which is like a weird kind of a talk, right? Okay, so now we have to add this piece of evidence. Can I cross out something here? I think I can at least cross out. I mean, I don't know how you could accidentally get me. It's possible, but I'm going to go ahead and cross that accidental. But it is low enough that I could do this to myself. And we see a lot of crazy suicides because a lot of the suicides we investigate are drug-induced suicides. So I'm going to leave that last one in for now. Let's change the scenario, though. What if he's a dead guy laying face down in a pool of his own blood with multiple stab wounds, upper back? This changes things. And now I think we have to kind of at least, I think I can cross out suicide, unless you're just incredibly gifted, flexible, and have a high tolerance for pain. But for sure, if there was bloody footprints leading out of the room, you would know there's no way to explain that. So if I added that additional element, now we have a good reason to believe that this is a homicide. Are we all on the same page here so far? What we basically did was we compared the explanations to the evidences in the room. By the way, Jimmy is still alive, okay? He went to UCLA. I went to UCLA. We are both Bruins, okay? My son David is a doctor. He went to USC. He's a communist, okay, just so you know. That's the difference, basically, between those two things. Now, this process that we just talked about is a process known as abductive reasoning. And I drew it in the book so you can see it. This is from Cold Case Christianity. This process is a very common skill that detectives use, and we also asked jurors to employ this same process in jury deliberation. Now, why does this matter? Because when I was first looking at the case for Christianity, I knew that there was one piece of evidence that was more important than any other piece of evidence, according to Paul at least. It's this idea of the resurrection. If we have not been telling you the truth about the resurrection, you not only have no hope of your own resurrection, but we have been lying to you. And if that's the case, why would I trust you for anything? This was the most important, to me, thing to investigate. Why couldn't we use abductive reasoning for this? Why couldn't we list the evidences in the room and then the explanations for the evidence and determine which is the most reasonable? Now, what would count as an evidence in the room? I would have told you as an atheist, and I was the very, very committed atheist. I was the kind of atheist who read. Before the new atheist, I would read a lot, and I would push back against the people who were Christians in my life because they were lame Christians. The officers I knew could not tell you why I should trust the Bible. They had no more reason for me to trust the Bible than someone could trust the Book of Mormon. They couldn't give me 4 reasons why I should trust the Bible. And the other group I met who were Christians were the people we were taking to jail, because a lot of those folks would tell us they were Christians. So both of those groups were unappealing to me. But I did believe some things about the resurrection as an atheist, and that was the minimal place you could get me to start. I would have said, yeah, I believe that Jesus was crucified. I'm not a Jesus myther, okay? There are a lot of those out there right now. But I mean, I think that the evidence is, why would you think that Jesus never even lived? There's not any good reason to believe that. But so what? Okay, so he lived, he was crucified, he was buried. That happens every day in some place in the world today. Someone will probably be crucified for their faith in Christ. This does not make Christianity true. That could be true, yet Christianity still be false. The fact that Jesus lived and died on a cross and was buried does not make Christianity true. Now, people, there was an empty tomb. Because clearly, if you wanted to end this in the first century, here's how you do it. You get the body of Jesus, you drag it around town. That's game over. Or you get the initial alleged eyewitnesses to recant. That would also be game over. Those things didn't happen, but this does not make it true. These 2 things could be true, yet Christianity could still be false. I believe those 2 things were true, yet I believe Christianity was false. Third thing, these folks said they saw the risen Christ. So? A lot of people, you work this job long enough, you're going to find out that people say all kinds of stupid, crazy things. Does not make them true. And finally, they did seem to be committed to this lie, or to this fabrication, or to this illusion, whatever it was. All 4 of these things could be true, yet Christianity could still be false. This is where I stood as a non-Christian. I'll give you those 4 things. Now, I have to explain them, though. And I would have offered one of 6 ways to explain these as an atheist. I will list them here for you. The 7th is your way on the bottom. Now, we're not going to be able to talk about all these today. We're going to go fast as we can through a couple of them. And I'll send you the rest in the video, okay?